All right, I'm going to go. I'll be in full screen, so I can't see the chat.
Okay, we are your worms.
Jawohl.
Jawohl.
Don't get attached to them either. You don't want to start naming them.
Whoa. God damn. I want to go back to the softer wood. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I have to admit, cutting into that pine this morning or today, it was like butter. It's like, wow.
Hello, John from Wood, if I could.
Hey, John. How the heck are you?
Hey.
Or no, wait, he's Canada. Hey, how you doing, eh?
Hey. Oh yeah? Is it? Oh yeah? There you go, John. Something in the chat for you. It's typical, in it, eh? We sit here all that time, not live. Are you working? When you meant to be working before?
He was talking about frames, how to frame in our plaques and stuff.
Yeah. After that, he said he had to go do some work. I guess he didn't do much.
Probably not.
Yeah, bouncing.
Sounds like gunfire.
It's not doing anything. It's just bouncing off the wood. Yeah. So good.
Wow. That's some hard wood. Either that or you need to sharpen your tools.
Yeah, no, it's hard stuff.
Oof, that's hard going, man. Wow.
I told you I wouldn't finish it today.
Except from the girls.
What? Oh.
Was that petrified?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, it's just bloody hard.
He just found a really round rock.
Imagine how sharp the teeth of the bugs are that live in there. You wouldn't want that to get on your hand or leg. It might bore in easy.
Yeah.
Hey, we could do a video about that. A fiction story.
Yep.
The bugs ate the Turner.
Hey, Steve Cone.
Howdy, Steve.
How you going, Steve?
John Cousins says, figure that's why they made band saws and sleds.
What for?
I guess to catch some of the edges and cut them off.
Yeah, there's no edges to that though. That's just round.
Hey,
And
I'm
Sid
Sid.
has entered. What's up, Super Sid?
How are you guys? It's all happening here.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is.
I've got my shirt on again.
What? Oh, this one. Yeah.
There you go. Jamison.
Howdy.
Hey, Sid, you know how the Aussies
You're
invade
nearly
the
outnumbered there,
live?
Jay.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know how the Aussies invade the lives? Well, I've been invaded by the Americans today.
If they got one more in, you would have been good.
You're breaking
Well,
up a little bit there,
Canadian-
Sid. What was that? Did you say something, John Johnson?
he's fine, but he's all broke up.
Yeah, Sid, I don't know if you can hear us or not, but you're just lagging.
Yeah, I'm
Jay,
just
so are you.
browsing down on my hotspotting from my phone. Is that any better now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had two browsers open, so the phone didn't like it.
That'll do it.
It will.
John says all the gummies that he eats are usually softer than that.
Yeah, but which gummies is he eating?
Yeah, right?
Hmm.
But what I was
Australian
saying
gummies,
before
mate.
was,
What's that, Sid?
well, what I was saying before was if one more American had come in, Jay would have been outnumbered.
Well, he almost had a Canadian, so he would have been outnumbered by having North Americans.
Yeah, but seeing as there's only three there, he's okay.
Klondike's in. How's it going?
Howdy, Klondike.
And Jay's frozen.
Yep.
Well, it's not me this time. That's all right.
Internet's having a little bit of a fart. How you going, Lewis?
It's the 100 degrees in the shop. So, Sid, what have you been up to?
Well, not an awful lot, really. I was just thinking before, what have I actually achieved today? And I can't actually say I've achieved very much at all.
It's a good Monday.
Well, yeah, well, I'm not unhappy about it. It's just I've been doing stuff all morning, but I don't know that I've actually achieved anything.
Well, so long as you're not losing money, you're okay.
I don't know. I'm getting paid for this, so I'm not losing money. I was supposed to be in a meeting, but they haven't invited me into it, so I thought, well, stuff it, I'll come and have a look at Jay's while I'm waiting for them to invite me.
Did I hear my name?
Yeah, but we're only saying nice things, so it's okay.
All right, man. Yeah, I'll let you off. I doubt that, but I'll let you off.
Well, you can
Well,
play
you
it
get-
back later and find out.
No, I don't care.
I better say, John, g'day. Steve, g'day. Lewis, g'day. Who else is in there that I haven't seen? Oh,
I think
Jay,
that's
g'day.
about it.
Jameson, I checked
don't
out your
think-
Facebook page. Some of that stuff you're doing is awesome, man.
Thank you.
That's
you.
like big stuff. That takes a lot of patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one
I mean,
reason
I'm
why
not at a John Cousins stage, but I'm getting there.
You got a channel, Jameson?
Yes, sir. It's right here under my thumbprint. And the last one is Creations. If you can read that.
Sergeant Shoots Wood Creations.
Yes, sir. I'll put it in the private chat so everybody can see it.
A sergeant in what?
Marine Corps.
Good.
What were
Gummy
you?
Branch, Air Force during Nam.
Yeah.
I went in as nothing and ended up being a sergeant, and then all of a sudden ending up, don't know what I was. They made me a warrant officer, one of the last warrant officers that was the Air Force ever made.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I got out, it went back to being a sergeant.
Nice.
I wasn't busted. It's just the assignment I was on had to have that type of rank.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they only have so many in each rank.
Well, it's what I had to do. I was undercover in Cambodia as a missionary.
Oh. Right.
It wasn't easy.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Supposed to be Catholic missionary because they recognized, the Khmer Rouge recognized the collar as a holy person equal to Buddha. So we were pretty well protected. But I'm Methodist, and I had to learn to be Catholic, and I had like 8 days to learn.
Wow. Yeah, that's one denomination, Catholic, that I haven't gotten fully into. I've been to some of the churches and like wedding vow renewals and stuff like that, but I've never been part of the church. I was born Methodist, and now I'm in a Baptist church down here in Arkansas.
That's the nice thing about being a Methodist. You can go anywhere you want because it's the method of understanding what Christ and the scriptures mean in your life.
Right, exactly. Yep.
It used to be unified, but here last year, for some reason, but it didn't happen in the U.S., but the Black Methodist Church separated from the Global Methodist Church.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
But it took years to bring that together. My brother's minister retired in the church, and I used to do a lot of work for him in the church. Before COVID, I did some too. So what did you do in the Corps?
I worked on Hercules.
Ah.
And that's one of the projects I got on my desk right now is the Angel Flight. Do another one of those.
Ah.
I was an engine mechanic on C-130s.
Oh, yeah. I have flown on more of those. They were popular during the Nam era.
Yeah, I was working on them. I worked on the Legacy birds, and when the J models come in, I pretty much went off and did tool room until I got out.
We're got
Mark,
it.
the
Mark,
gentleman
gentleman
Woodburner has joined us. How you going, Mike? Mark, pardon me.
How you going, Mark?
But I'll tell you, I've learned a lot from the Army pilots
Mark.
that did a lot of the flying for us.
Yeah.
But it was Air America, and the funniest thing is on the tail of the plane, the pilot could throw a switch and it would change country of origin flags. One would slide out, the other would slide in. There were three countries, and
Yeah.
America was the center one. If you toggle it to the right, you were Cambodian. If you go to the left, you were Vietnamese.
Interesting. So, Jameson, did you ever make it
Ask
to
some questions.
Utah? Hill Air Force Base has.
Hold on. Yeah, I went to Utah. I went to Fallon Air Base or Air Force Base.
Fallon's in Nevada, I think.
And there was one in Utah, I thought.
It's Hill.
Yeah, Hill Air Force Base. Had to go up there and dig out some parts out of the wing of a C-130, some fuel line.
They repair a lot of C-130s. I'm not sure if they do very much anymore. I think it's kind of shifted.
Yeah, I think it's shifted to the East Coast where you're out there at Cherry Point. That's where they started all the schools for the J models and stuff like that.
So
Mark wants to know, did I ever jump out, or was that talking to you, Dr. Bob?
Oh,
I did.
Well, it's Mark. Yeah, I learned parachuting because we had to jump in country.
Right. Yeah, no, I never jumped out. I'd been on some of the flights where we push people out.
Why the hell would you want to jump out of a perfectly good aeroplane?
All right.
Klondike says I did all my jumps out of a Ford or a Chevy. Now, was that on purpose, or was that night of having a good time?
There again, which one, Dr. Bob or Klondike?
That was Klondike in the chat.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to be funny.
Always on
Well, I'll tell you, the one trip that on the C-130s, I had two R&Rs in the 3.5 years I was over. One was to Australia, where I stayed about 10 days drunk. And the other was
not hard to do there.
No, Ramstein, Germany during Oktoberfest with Air America flyers. I remember landing. I remember going out with a gang of them, no uniforms, just our ID in our pocket. And, well, the idea that we had at the time, International Red Cross. But stationed at Ramstein Air Base so we could spend 2 weeks at Oktoberfest. Well, the C-130 that we had, that they were flying there, got repaired and got a new engine.
Oh, yeah.
That was the excuse.
It's always a good excuse.
Yep, one stop from Vietnam all the way there with a stop in, well, I forget the first one. The second one was India. We were told we couldn't leave the plane, just look out the windows.
Right.
Because we didn't have passports cleared for it.
Yeah, my first deployment, I flew from El Toro, California, all the way out to Mombasa, Kenya. We were out there for a month on a joint operations with the UN had a C-130, the Belgians had a C-130, and we had two C-130s out there. And we were dropping bags of rice and grain and medicine and all that stuff out of the back. That was pretty cool.
You watch some of those videos of them, launching tanks and jeeps and those great big huge crates and stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, we did that too.
By shooting or just push them off as you flew low?
We've done them both, but when I was in Africa, they would tie them together a certain way to where when you took a carabiner and it was hooked to the static line, when that static line got tight, that carabiner had a razor blade on it. It would cut the ribbons apart, and there was just a wooden piece of plywood underneath. And as they fell out, they would just separate apart.
I don't think
that way we didn't
during the Nam era, because there were sometimes the wood would get caught and hit the bottom of the plane and bang on it.
Yeah.
And the pilot would have to fly like this to get rid of it, so it wouldn't catch.
Right.
But they were Air America pilots, which meant they were civilian.
Right. They were civilian contractors for the DOD.
Well,
or civilian as contractors for.
Yeah, well, not really. They were an airliner themselves that had really been flying over there for quite a while. It's just that their money came from Langley. But I didn't know that until years later.
Yeah, I went to Klondike. I can't find the channel.
Yeah, I see that. I couldn't put in an address in there.
Do you have a YouTube channel, Jamison, or just a Facebook page?
I've got a YouTube channel, but all it is just stuff like this that I watch and I save and stuff like that. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Jay.
So that's the Facebook page.
Yeah. And the Engine Monkey is my YouTube channel.
I just find it really odd that the C-130 was a workhorse, and in some parts of the world still is a big workhorse. When you have something built right, it lasts. And as long as you get the people trained to handle it, which is part of building them right, so they're repairable.
Right. Yeah.
What kills me?
When I went up there,
the Blue Angels C-130 that has JATO.
Yep.
That jet assisted takeoff just blows my mind.
Well, they just finally retired the last one that they used JATO on, and they finally went to the J models. They got a used J model out of I can't remember if it was one of the Marine Corps ones or Air Force ones.
Hey, Jamison, you can post links in the chat now.
All right.
Oh God, he's got a spanner. Look out!
Well, Jay, you saw what Mark posted. He's worried about you.
Yeah.
He says, "Move up your tailstock," which is a nice, polite way of saying "move your ass."
You're more than welcome to come on the mic, Mark. You know, you don't have to type it. Yeah?
There'll be another nationality in here.
Yeah, a third country.
It's not going any further, Mark, unless they get the Stilsons out, you know?
Is it fully extended, Jay? Do you need to move it in a bit?
No, it's not. It's bloody hard wood.
Okay.
Unless I use these.
That's it. At least you knew what he knew the name of the wrench.
Yeah. Go hard or go home. Come on.
Had a bit of that stuff that was down the side of the house, Jay.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit of, I think it's red gum. It's either red gum or ghost gum, but all I got to say is it's bloody hard.
Could be, it could be what they call pink gum or hill gum too, because that's actually harder than red gum.
Okay. It's got some nice figurines in it and stuff, but it's fracking hard.
I just picked up a couple of bits of crotch wood today. A friend of ours had a big red gum tree, shed a couple of branches, so they cut it up today and bought me some
nice
crotch pieces. Hello, Amber.
Hi, Sid.
How long's it been sitting around for? Is it dry?
The stuff I've got.
It
fell off the tree Friday.
Oh, bugger, so you have to wait a while to turn that.
Yeah, I'll cut it down and seal it. One of the smaller pieces I might turn green and just see how it goes.
Yep.
Sometimes that's pretty fun to do, to watch all of those ribbons go.
Yeah, I've done some olive wood like that. A lot of the olive wood I've got's fairly green. Look out, here comes trouble.
How you going?
How are you, Mark?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Very well,
Mark.
No more sniping from the background now. Keyboard warrior.
No. It was only because I saw him have a couple of stoppages. And I know if you have stoppages, just tighten your tailstock up a bit.
You're just trying to let him know that you are actually watching him and not just engaging in banter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this bit here. It's a little bit flat, so I'm just trying to round it down so that it's round and not like a flat spot there. So,
yeah.
And it's stabbed in, but it's not going any further unless I quite literally take that out and smash it in with a hammer. And then when Robbo watches the replay, I'll be in the shit.
Where is Robbo?
He's on holidays.
Yeah, slacker.
He had to go to a wedding.
His wife has just
best
retired.
Man, so he had to go.
Yeah.
Hey, priorities all wrong.
You can tell him all about it when he comes back, all right?
No, that's fine. I'll let you do that.
Blame it on the quarantine.
True keyboard warrior. Spoken like a true keyboard warrior.
Hey, you know I'm not a keyboard warrior. I'll say it to your face. I won't just type it.
It's not Robbo's, yeah.
Oh, no. Would you?
No, shit, no. No.
Exactly.
You getting any more sleep?
I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah, you should be asleep right now.
Probably.
So you're awake.
The more relevant question is, are you getting any less sleep?
I don't think that's possible. I get
So
a couple of hours.
There's your bar that you're working from.
Couple of hours every couple of days, that'll do. I haven't had a psychotic episode yet, so, you know.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do they say? We can survive on 3 hours of sleep a day, something like that.
Get my right nut for 3 hours a day. about 3 hours every 3 days.
Oh, jeez.
Not good.
Couldn't even imagine.
PTSD sucks. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Amen.
I get just a touch more than what you get. I guess I get probably about 3 hours a night, so I guess I'm a little better off on that end.
Yeah. Right now I'm averaging 4. But I'm wide awake and alert. But
Yeah.
I
Makes me
haven't,
laugh. Makes me laugh.
haven't bombed out.
I've said this to the guys before. All the years I was in the forces and all the sketchy stuff I did then never affected me. Never suffered PTSD. Spent a year in a hospital in a coma and ICU, and it screws my head up.
Yes.
Well, for me, it was just, well, I was a POW. The Khmer Rouge, technically I wasn't. And that's the big argument with the VA, because I was on a special assignment, but we were not technically captured by the Khmer Rouge. It's just that one of our helicopters blew up their field hospital, and since we were posing as 6 of us medical missionaries, they came and got us and wouldn't let us leave.
Yeah.
So if you can't leave, that's being a prisoner. But technically, the Khmer Rouge never took prisoners.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I feel like a prisoner right now.
They weren't part of the Geneva Convention, so they couldn't take a prisoner by definition, so you can get money from the government. Right. Used to. And did pretty good until 76, and then all of a sudden it dropped out and we couldn't anymore. Those of us in Cambodia, and then 5 years later, we had a senator change our status and make us so we were temporary duty to the embassy. And under that, we weren't prisoners, but we got different kind of technical pay for being held, even though we couldn't leave.
There's always some buggers trying to take something from somebody else, isn't there?
Yeah.
It ain't right.
Well, there's only 8 of us left alive.
Our guys over here get treated exactly the same. We have ex-servicemen who, put themselves on the line, fought for their country, living on the bloody streets because the government won't help them. Ain't right. Don't get me started. I get angry about it.
Yeah, but it's accepted.
Yeah, but it's wrong. Very wrong.
It is. It is. I'm just hoping after the inauguration, the 8 of us left can get some of our money back.
I wouldn't count on it, Bob. That money's already gone. If they do anything, I'll be very surprised.
Well, my money would come from State Department, because we were technically in 72 reassigned for our period of incarceration as being retroactively attached to State Department as information specialists, gathering from, what the enemy was doing. That's why we could wear any uniform we wanted to attached to the State Department. And we got our pensions and that through state. But the problem is that State Department, the only people that can sign it from State Department, our checks, is the ambassador for Southeast Asia. In the last 4 years, no ambassador has ever been appointed. So I got a few checks, and then they come back after they caught the mistake that they weren't signed and took the money back.
See you,
Lewis. See you, Lewis.
See you, sis. Or see you, Lewis.
Yeah.
See you later, Lewis. Thanks for coming in.
The crazy part is, guys, is the fact that I get the cost of living difference from Treasury. I get the money from Treasury, the cost of living against money I don't get.
Yeah, John, he says he gets a boot at least 7 hours of sleep a night. A boot? Yeah.
Hey.
Would if I could, John Cousins.
Surprised you didn't put A on the back. Oh, that's it.
Right.
Good, eh?
Yeah, A is basically Ontario. Some of Manitoba, but
We had
that's where we get it from. A.
had a vet here in Kingston who, when he first introduced himself to us, he said, "You can call me KFC," because he was a Korean French Canadian.
Whoa!
Wow, that's different.
Whew. There's some cultural exchange going on.
Yeah.
Who's living in Australia as a vet.
Nice.
So how you
Yeah,
guys
like I told
getting
Jay the other day, I deployed down to Australia from Okinawa when I was up there in Catherine. I was there about a month just doing some joint op training with the Australian Air Force. That was pretty cool. We did in-flight refueling for both the Marines, our Marine F-18s, and for the Australians also.
Yep. I haven't been up that side of the country at all. I've been up, not to the top up the east coast, but I've been up as far as Brisbane. And I've been up the middle as far as Alice Springs, but I've only been across the bottom half or the bottom end of Western Australia. I haven't been north in there at all.
Yeah, we took a day trip and went up to Darwin too while we were down there.
Were you ever able to outdrink in beer an Aussie?
Huh? No,
No,
not at
I
all.
couldn't either.
Especially when they were drinking the pints, standing on their heads against the wall, doing headstand and drinking pints. I was like, no, not even. Not even.
That's a special talent, that is.
Yeah.
I lost $50 on a bet over that.
To be fair, that's like the rest of us drinking normally for Australians.
Right.
Yeah, an Aussie will never spill its beer. It doesn't mean, and even if an Aussie tips over and does a complete somersault, they still manage to hold their beer up straight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's talent.
I watched a bloke do a cartwheel with a pint in his hand.
Jeez.
Yep.
I will say that the interesting delicacy that I had down there was there was a couple of people that made up some wallaby stew. That was pretty good.
No, I can't say I've tried that before.
Yeah, I think from what I understand is the wallabies are more of a northern animal. I mean, they're probably everywhere, but they're more inhabitants up in the Northern Territory.
There's a lot of wallabies through the rangy country, like mountainous country. The kangaroos are much more a plains animal.
Right.
I'm on the sort of southeastern coast of South Australia, so heading down the southeast corner, and we have swamp wallabies here who get into our coastal marshes and stuff. Little black swampies and rednecks.
Yeah.
Then we have the eastern and western grey kangaroos.
That sounds like the Arkansas rednecks and Cajuns hanging out in the swamps.
So that's it's bloody Arkansas is an interesting word, I reckon, because if you take the AR off, you got Kansas.
Right.
Yep. But it's not Arkansas, it's Arkansas.
Right. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm originally from Iowa. I just migrated south when I was in high school.
Well, it's certainly, and it doesn't matter whether it's American English, or Australian English. The English language is a stupid language.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, you get the OUGH. Hello, Mark.
Hello. Englishman here. Hello.
I said English, Australian English, or it's all stupid.
There's English, and everything else
Queen's
is wrong.
English. No, there's the Queen's English. If you go, we'll go with English then. We'll go with English then. We'll go with the OUGH. You know, you can OUGH off, or you can OUGH O, or you can OUGH ow.
Yep.
Really?
Who invented this shit?
We did.
There's only one person here with a culture old enough to invent this rubbish. And
Let's see, is it above you or below you?
He's below me, and I'm the second from the bottom.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
We have British blood.
Yeah.
I can't complain. My dad was from southeastern England. He came from Eastbourne, and he used to say, he said, the people who speak the most grammatically correct English are the Scots, but you just can't understand them with their accent.
Yes.
I've been to England twice. First time I went with a church group, a Methodist church group when I was in youth group. And then the second time was on my way back from Africa. I stopped off in England and we spent the night out there. I like it there.
Yeah, it's all right.
Never been.
Well, at least the second time it was sunny. The first time it was cloudy the whole 2 weeks we were out there.
So you struck the one day in the decade that had sunshine in England.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you were lucky.
Yeah.
Here's another bit of trivia that's not very well known about the UK in general. Did you know that the Irish invented the bagpipes?
Yeah, I thought it was either the Irish or the Scottish.
They gave them to the Scots as a joke, and they haven't got it yet. Now, I don't know whether that's factually correct or not, but it makes a good joke.
Yeah.
Probably is.
So now back to Jay. What are you doing since I'm not a wood turner?
He's about to put
What's going on?
I reckon.
I said,
Oh, does someone Is someone interested? Oh,
I am.
go about your talk.
We've been watching you,
we've been
Jay.
watching.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't care. I only started this live so you guys could talk to each other, you know.
Right, Jay, I saw you put a tenon on the end. You're going to put it in a chuck now, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, maybe. No, you just go about your talking. I'm fine.
Hey, Mark, have you noticed he can get his chuck off now?
I hadn't. No.
How did that happen? Did you help him, Sid?
Maybe.
Look, I got this.
When I bought my lathe,
one of those ends goes in the hole that's in my the headstock part of the lathe, and because I don't have a spindle lock, and then this just clips in, then you just hold it there, and then put the push rod, the ram rod, put that in there and lock it in there, and then it just pull on it and it undoes. It's easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice when you have the right.
Going through my box of tricks that I bought when I bought my Carvatech lathe, and I've never used that spanner. It was sitting in the bottom of the box of tricks. So last time I went up to Jay, I took it up for him.
Nice one.
Yeah, good score. Works very well.
How you doing then, Blair?
Oh, we're good. We
Keeping busy?
definitely. Matter of fact,
Nice.
I've got to do that. I've got to make a pen or two. I've got some kits. I just haven't actually got off my butt and made one.
Yeah. I made the dive. I went to Black Friday sales, and they had stuff, really good sales, and so I just bought it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't
It's
like
probably
it.
something that'll sell through our community store quite nicely, actually.
Yep, I should start turning pens again. I found that I had a friend of mine who used to turn a lot and passed away, and about 3 years ago, and his wife brought over 2 big tubs of pen turning blanks and mechanisms and bottle stoppers, everything they had left, and gave it to me.
Nice.
And I just haven't done a lot of turning with it. I like big stuff, and I was in the midst of modifying a tool system that I designed, of which now I've been told to go ahead and got a company that'll manufacture it again, since Carter is not going to sell it.
I've just put a dozen pens into the local shop that's started selling my pieces. Unfortunately, they found out that I made pens. I tried to dissuade them, but they wanted them anyway. So, bugger.
Yeah. Well, they're great Christmas presents.
Yeah. Darned if you're good at something, and darned if you're not.
Who's gone? Where's Sid gone?
I think Sid had a meeting he was waiting on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's actually working.
That's what you get from a government employee.
Right.
Really, I should be in the workshop. I've got stuff to get ready for my live tonight.
What you doing tonight?
A bowl, but I'm using milk paint.
Oh, cool.
Nope.
You did that red one, didn't you?
You saw that, did you?
Yeah. I did. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really was.
That was a test piece.
Can't say was, it is.
That was a test piece just to try out the paint before my live tonight.
Yeah, milk paint has been around for a little while, and I never really got into it just because it was more artsy,
I'll
crafty,
be right back.
all that kind of stuff. But what you did, that's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to do the kind of shaker style.
Okay.
Sort of
Come
that,
see in
that
the
kind of
house.
sort of farmhouse kind of look. What's the word I'm looking for? Distressed.
Shabby chic, distressed.
Shabby chic. Yeah. Hi,
How's it
John.
going, John?
Hey, Mark, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, but
Haven't seen you in a long time.
What's going on, John?
Working in my shop, eh?
hey,
Yeah, good. Hey,
Don't I?
mate.
Lots to do, lots to do.
Is it up then?
What's that?
Gives a look then?
Yeah.
Gives a gander? There you go, look at that. You're now live with John.
Yay! Welcome to What If I Could. I don't have my card. I don't even have my card with me already. There you go. Welcome to What If I Could. Scroll Saw Woodwork Design now. No, I got lots. I was just finished staining, gluing down some more letters. I gotta do a drawing for tomorrow that I'm doing up, but I gotta get to work. I gotta be at work at 4 a.m.
Oh, why?
I got a 5-hour drive, so I want to get there in time for daylight to do the job.
It's a good reason.
5-hour drive.
Hello,
So, like,
John.
just round the corner, is it?
Yeah, it's just up the road. Actually, I think it's closer to 6-hour drive up the road.
That's like me driving to Vegas.
Yeah,
That's like me driving to Scotland and not even getting there.
that's like me driving 3/4 of the way up the province and still not being out of the province.
Take me 9 hours to get to Scotland from here.
So, which province do you live in?
Alberta.
Oh, okay.
I live about 4.5 hours north of Edmonton, and like I said, I got to go 6 hours north from Grand Prairie, and I'm still another 3 hours from the border, from the northern border. And if I was to drive south, I would be 9 to about 12 hours south to get to the southern border, to the States.
Yeah, I've gone through on the train 2 or 3 times, younger, but haven't spent much time there. My family's all from Ontario, around Toronto area, Brantford,
Oh yeah.
or Bell City, as it was called for years, because that's where Alexander Graham Bell's homestead is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went there on stupid school trips when I was growing up.
You see the Science Center, or are you too old for that?
No, I went to Ontario. The Ontario Science Center, I was there a couple times. The ROM, I was there a couple times. Science North up in Sudbury, I was there a couple times. Ontario Place, CNE.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I was young enough there for all that.
I'm just figuring out your age that way by asking questions. Remember when the Science Center was built?
I'm 48.
Just a youngin'.
Just a youngin'.
Just a
That's
youngin'.
all right.
I used to catch the Canadian National here in Detroit. My father put me on the train because my whole family from Canada are rail people. And they put me on it in Detroit, take the train ferry across. My uncle was the conductor or the engineer of the train, and they were still steam trains then. And I couldn't get away with shit on those trains because it was disrespectful to my family.
Exactly.
But sit and ride the train, and I remember my mother almost fainting. She fell off of my aunt's porch when I was 6 because there in Brantford, it was a railroad house that they'd been in for years, the family had. And I was riding with my grandfather. He was engineer on a steam train. He had me strapped into the fireman's seat, hanging out the window, waving at my mother as we went by. She thought I was going to fall out of the engine.
Well, I remember driving
Wow.
6 hours from Borden to Windsor to see my parents' families, and then driving across, well, either across the Ambassador or through the bridge to go to Detroit to see my great grandmother.
The Windsor Tunnel, yeah.
Yep.
They're from Detroit?
No, they're from Harrow. Just 45 minutes north of Windsor, or south of Windsor, rather.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they've been debating, and they finally got the contracts to put a second bridge in.
It's about time.
Yeah.
I heard that they were going to be tearing down all the old factories and stuff in Detroit too, and rebuilding it all back up again.
Well, yes, they've been talking about that for a while, but the problem is with the old World War II factories, they were made bomb-proof, which is like 6-foot thick walls, double and triple reinforced. You get in there and hit it with a wrecking ball, and it causes so much vibration, it cracks footings and foundations of homes, for a quarter mile away. It cracked the sewer system. When they took the old VA hospital down, it was bomb-proof, 11 stories. And that's close to where I live now. I could walk there. And when they hit it with a wrecking ball and big ceremony, and they hit it and it bounced off of it, so they made a bigger swing and they hit it and the concrete ball shattered, and it was, shit, what do we do now? Because it was made bomb-proof.
Jay, turn your sound back on a sec, bud. Have you got a slightly smaller Forstner bit?
Yeah.
Try stepping it down a couple, and then work back up again.
All right.
Yeah, that way you won't overheat it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the
Make
problem
it easier
is
to cut
that
too.
Sorry?
the
Makes
big,
it easier to cut.
Yes.
and you don't want to ruin your bit. If you overheat them, you can lose their temper, and then no matter what you do, you can't even sharpen them.
It's tungsten. Can't sharpen it anyway. There you go. Look at that. Brady
Motley
Bunch.
Crue.
All right. Yeah, that sounds better than the Brady Bunch, actually.
I gotta figure these cameras out.
Oh, no, it's all backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the
Alright, so-
problem that
That's because you stare at one all the time, John.
So, he's a wood turner. I'm a wood turner. He's a
He's
scroll saw.
wherever he's at, he's just
he's a
a
wood turner.
jack of all trades monkey.
What do you do?
He does nothing. He fucking sits around and
Roll
watches
saw.
YouTube videos all day.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
a professional audio
No,
person.
Yeah, now I've become a live stream panel groupie.
Yes.
You were.
Groupie.
You were.
Jay, when you were on my show 6 hours ago, and you said, "Oh, I'm going live in 5," what'd you do for the last 5 hours?
Had breakfast because it was only 6:30 in the morning here. I normally start them around my 12:30, so that's I've had lunch and yeah. So yeah, is that all right with you, Dad?
So he's not like Charles where he starts them and then just as soon as he starts them, he's hungry.
Oh, Charles Deering.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been in a
Oh,
couple
that's
of
cool.
it. Oh,
Hang
I
on
like
a sec.
that.
Hold it there for a sec. Hold it. There you go. Oh yeah, nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What?
He likes
That's awesome.
It was supposed to be for holding the Germex bottles, but I don't have anything small enough to hold it, or the Germex bottle small enough to put in there. So I use my dip bottle instead.
And take orders.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on building up my page and start selling them. Most of the stuff that I do is usually either like I've got a set of mother silhouettes where I've got the heart cut out on an angle so that it sits back and makes a little picture frame. I got that for some of the teachers at my daughter's school. A lot of them I just do for gifts.
Nice.
So I did this a little bit ago. I didn't finish it, but it's a Eagle Globe and Anchor Christmas tree ornament.
Oh, yeah.
I was toying around trying to figure out some cameras or my phone or something like that so I can maybe do a Facebook Live or something off of my Sergeant Shoots page.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Just, best advice anyone gave me. Just hit the record button.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, Bash. Because I remember, like when you first started doing your lives, you were so scared to do it and screwing everything up that you just freaking did it and just got back into it.
Well, my biggest thing was the voice. That was my, because that's buggered. I'm really self-conscious about it, even now. But now I've got the headset with a better mic. It amplifies my voice because, in real life, you could hardly hear me, as you guys know, when I first started.
Yeah, I was kind of gathering that.
I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was about. Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was only about 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
May, yeah. April, May.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
Well, we're glad you came out of the closet.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I still, it still bothers me. I'm still self-conscious about it, but hey, there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, you got your big cock to fucking make up for it, though. So don't worry about it.
Oh yeah.
I'm self-conscious about I'm self-conscious about my voice, but I got an 18-inch penis here, so don't worry about it. It's okay.
Leave it to the Canadian to derail the train.
Sorry, Jay. It's your show. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Now, we ought to rename his show as Chatting Around the Shop.
Exactly.
It's not learning about doing anything. We're just chatting around as if, it's a friend invites you over while they're making something, and everyone sits around and talks and drinks there.
Do you know,
this is the new norm. This is how we gather.
That's something I so desperately want to do, because since I started, I haven't been able to have anybody in the shop with me while I'm making something because of this bloody virus.
Oh, I get people in my shop all the time.
That's why I love doing the live.
I don't want anybody in my shop that might catch something.
I don't dare because the VA tells me if I get it, I'm dead, period. Due to the Agent Orange poison.
Well, I got it.
Did you come back
What was that,
positive?
Jameson?
I got it. It's going. I got it. It's
You had
just
it, did
going
you?
through my family like wildfire.
So you're done with it though?
No, the 7th of December will be my 14 days. So take off a few and I'll be at my 10.
So they got you locked down and quarantined and all that?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been pretty much quarantined since the Marine Corps birthday, the 10th of
Oh.
November,
Yep.
because of my brother-in-law who lives upstairs above the shop. He uses our bathroom in the house, and since he was within 6 feet for more than 15 minutes and he tested positive, then we all got put on quarantine. And then my wife, she had it. She just came off of her 10 days. He just went back to work, and now I'm the one that's got it. And I have no symptoms. So, just like the
That's good.
military, just do as you're told and stay home.
Yeah. My neighbor had it. I live in the house 20 feet away. He got it, but his wife tested negative. So how does that even
Yeah.
work?
I don't know. Both of my daughters have been in the house the whole time, and they both tested negative. The three of us, myself and my daughters, went down to their doctor's office. The three of us got tested the same day after we found out my wife was pregnant, or not pregnant, positive,
Positive.
and I'm positive, and they're still negative. So who knows?
Hey, Billy. Nice to see you, buddy.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, Cherry Force. So now I guess
Billy,
Dr.
how's it
Bob
going?
said Cherry Force on the panel.
So we got two Air Force and a Jarhead and a Royal. What are you, Mark?
In the rear.
Oh, it's Royal Air Force.
Royal Air Force.
Oh.
So 3 Air Force and one Jarhead.
But I was Royal Air Force, but I was Royal Air Force Regiment. So I was ground-based infantry.
Well, if on the technical
Special.
side, I was on the air wing side of the Marine Corps, so
I was
I
special.
was aviation.
I've always been special.
What was that? What was that they used to call you, Mark? A rock ape?
Rock apes, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't boast about it, but we're kind of an elite force.
Kind of got a reputation that no one can beat. They say that if bloody Englishmen don't know when to stop.
That's true.
It was World War One that way, World War Two.
Yep.
Jameson was a
Yeah, I
pog.
dealt with the British.
As long as you can stop and have a brew, that's all that matters.
What was that again,
That was
Blair?
part of your.
Oh, Billy just says that you're a pogue or a person on the ground.
Oh, he says Doc. Pogue, yeah, I see the Pogue now. No, I wasn't admin. If it wasn't for us monkeys, the Air Force wouldn't even fly.
That's nice, Amber. That looks good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now we just need to get John C. to cut that out.
Oh, yeah, that is nice.
It's good to see where the talent is in that partnership.
Oh, yay!
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
well, made me.
There's where my talent lies, and that's my
Don't tell,
wife.
don't tell me none of you weren't thinking it. I just said it.
Yeah. You
What's that,
read between
Jason?
the lines well.
I got that. I knew what it was.
This is the Marine Corps dress blues. My wife
Or did
did
Yeah.
you
this
paint
one.
that?
I got another
Nice
one in the
little.
house that has my coffee in. It's paint and like water slide and epoxy, food grade epoxy, and all that stuff on there.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it looks really good.
She turns too, but just not the same way. She don't take away; she adds to her projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Jay, I couldn't resist, but
Don't bother me.
Well, I'll tell you, I owe my life to Marines. That's who rescued me.
Yeah, we try our best to help everybody out. We may pick on everybody, and we all do. The Air Force picks on the Marines. The Marines pick on the Navy. We all pick on the Army. You know, it all goes around.
And
everybody,
But if
everybody
anybody
picks on
everybody
the
pick.
Coast
outside, if
Guard.
a civilian picks on any one of us,
Oh yeah,
you better just kiss your butt
but
goodbye.
let's be honest. We all pick on the Navy just that little bit more.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
they're anchor clankers.
Well, right.
We call them the water fairies.
Oh,
Now they're the Uber drivers. They're the Marine Uber drive. The Uber drivers for the Marine Corps.
Yeah, basically.
At least now we got outside of being the men's department of the Navy.
yeah, but we're
Whenever
still Navy.
whenever somebody
Yeah,
says
I
to me that
know.
they were in the whenever somebody says to me they were in the Navy, first thing I say is apology accepted. That usually starts it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blair, were you in anything?
Like I said, my dad was a Marine, so you can just take it from there. He was pretty rough. So no, I was never in the military just because I was too angry at my dad.
Yeah. That's
A Marine
understood.
brat.
And pardon the expression, but it took him probably a good 40 years not to be an asshole.
Yeah. Totally get that.
Yeah, that happened.
So he's 85 now, and I mean he still absolutely loves the Corps. Summertime he flies the flag. Will still dress in anything that's Marine Corps attire and all that kind of stuff. But he's softened up a lot and realized that you don't run kids like you're in the Corps.
But it teaches you
Now
discipline.
I've got I've got 3
They
kids
do.
and 2 grandkids. Or we'll have 2 grandkids.
But the statistics I was reading about a year and a half ago in the VFW magazine, I'm a life member of it, was that of all branches of the military, Marines have the highest divorce rate.
Yeah. That we do.
And also
There are
abuse rate.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we got that too. We do have some black eyes in our heritage. I'll admit it.
Well, it's such an intense Corps. Every regiment even the Air Force, you know, you can be pretty intense with some of the things that they do, and you know, that's just how you have to be. And then how do you shake that when you're out of it?
You don't
Definitely
really,
hard. No,
really
it's
should.
hard to adjust.
Yeah, but I got an interesting thing happened to me is that when I got out of the Air Force, uh, within about 6 weeks, Senator Church came and visited me. And that surprised me because I felt, you know, what the heck did I do to have a senator visit me? And I got offered a job to work for a special group that he was putting together to report to him in Congress directly. But we were all ex-military and most Marines. I was the only Air Force one that I knew of, but there were specialists in different branches. And it was interesting because we were put in to infiltrate the weathermen. Now, that's a term that goes back a long ways. You got to be an old fart to remember the weathermen. But yet, we have the same thing happening today, just different names. And what scares me is when I see like the Michigan militia and a few of these other things going on, and over the years that have happened across both North and South North America, completely, both the Canada and US, nothing has changed. But being undercover for the weathermen that was interesting, I'll tell you. But you don't know how interesting until you're all sitting in a big barn for a meeting in northern Idaho. All of us hated the military. We wanted nothing to do with the bastards. That was the attitude we had to have to become members, but good at something. And all of a sudden, this, can't say who, but he was a politician within the state of Oregon, wandering up and down the aisles as we're in a big barn on wooden benches. And he said, my second meeting that I was able to be accepted. And he said, we have a traitor among us. And I darn near shit my pants. And he's walking up and down, and he's got a 6-shooter, and he's spinning the barrel.
Oh.
The cylinder, you hear him spinning it. And all of a sudden you hear he stops and he says, we hate traitors. And there was a bullet. You heard it. And he said, we don't have our traitor anymore. That scared the ever-loving out of me because that's what I was. They got an FBI agent undercover, just top of his head, shot straight down. You know what that would do with a big 6-shooter. But everybody turned and looked, and you knew it could happen to you if he got caught. That brought back a lot of memories of Nam I didn't want to have for nightmares again, but I did that for 4.5 years for Uncle Sam. Infiltrated and some of the stuff that we had to do, like pouring all the mercury in the Columbia River Gorge. We told them it was going to happen, except when the police came and the feds came, they were on the wrong side of the river, and the only way to get around was an hour drive. And by then, the milk truck full of mercury was already empty and just parked there. And they were fingering them. They couldn't shoot them. It was too far across. What a fiasco.
Wow.
And of course, that poisoned the Columbia River Gorge all the way down from there in Idaho, all the way out to the ocean. And it affected the cattle because it got into the grass on both sides through Oregon and Washington. It got in the drinking water for a while and made national news, but no one could say why. They said it was a rupture in a pipeline, but who pumps mercury in a pipeline? No, you knew what it was.
Yeah.
The feds were on the wrong side of the river. They didn't know east and west side. But they were some pretty bad people.
Having some fly problems there, Jay?
Nah, just me with my shit tool work, you know.
So, John, what are you working on now?
I'm doing a drawing for tiny wine. Those little bottles I was doing up. Christmas tree this Christmas tree holder for 12 little bottles of alcohol for 12 days of Christmas.
Oh, cool.
All the little the airport wines,
Yeah, hotel wine, tiny wine, whatever.
hotel wines. Yeah.
So I got a bag. Oh, I'll grab it for you. I'll show you in a second here.
Cool.
Yeah. Now that you're on spot.
Have to admit, I'm pretty envious that he actually has insulation in his shop.
Yeah. I need to redo mine. I got some leaks all over the place in this shop.
My shop is in my garage, and all I have
Yeah,
is
that's-
one great big huge roll-up door. And
So here's a prototype that I got up. There's the back side and the front side, so that they'll line up. Yes, it's a prototype only though. And I had to do some troubleshooting to find out which bottles will actually fit in it. So I went out and bought a bag of wine, a bag of alcohol. The thing is, because
You wino.
I know, but I don't drink. That's the thing. I don't drink, right? So, because like Zambuca bottles and absinthe bottles, they're about the same height, but they vary by just a hair on the neck sizes. And if you compare those to like a JD bottle, which is square, it's shorter, right? So I had to buy a bunch of different stuff. So, and then because Bailey's bottles got a thick center part here compared to a vodka bottle, which is longer and skinnier, and they got a bigger neck on them. So I'm telling you, it was like I said, I got probably 28 different types of bottles here, and they're all like rectangular and square and round and long and tall and short and freaking. Even these little plastic Scotch ones got plastic caps on them, but they're bigger than the other cap bottles, right? So I had to get an average size of the bottles and an average size of the caps to figure out what that everything will fit into these two holes. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to lay them out so that they'll actually sit together like that. So I needed the proper spacing between them. So I worked out that it's 3 1/4 inches between them. And then I got to make a slot spacer for the bottom and a slot spacer for the top. And then I was going to put a Texas Star on the top edge of it. And I found out that it also works for shooter glasses. Those little shooters you buy, pre-made shooters.
Wow.
Oh,
will
nice.
fit in.
hey, there you go.
They'll fit in there as well. So I bought a 15 pack of shooters as well. So, and I don't drink.
You do now.
So I'm just refining my drawing right now to fit on the wood that I just resawed down and sanded down and everything else. So that'll fit on basically like 11 by 14 piece of board. So I got to refine it so that I can just start cutting those out for my sister-in-law. She's an alcoholic, but no, she's not
I was
an
gonna say
alcoholic.
you can just ship it. Oh, nice,
There you go.
nice, Jay.
Is that
I
one?
think that would only hold those shot cups though. The bottles won't fit in there altogether.
Yeah.
This one was this actually came from my grandmother when she passed away, so it was just something that she always had out at Christmas time. Nothing too flash. It's got like little hooks and stuff for little
For
tiny
little ornaments and stuff.
Ornament.
Yeah. I thought it was safe to take them off before I brought the tree out here. It's
Yeah,
just
cool.
it's just the wood slid into each other though. It's nothing. It's not glued or anything.
Yeah, just slotted in the other way.
I could probably do the same thing with mine, but they wanted it to like stand. She wanted to get from one side, so that's why I did mine the way I did.
You know, that's a very marketable piece because a lot of the cities, for tourism purposes, the restaurants and that'll have something like that, where I've seen it where you can go out west and vacation and you end up with, even here in Michigan, the restaurants will offer you a sampler of the different brews they have, and you eat it. Well, a lot of the places have their own whiskeys and wines. Yeah, and you could actually put the bottles in them, and that would be a product. Those places buy them right and left because they're table service.
I've seen a crate one basically with 24 days, the 24 days of Christmas, and basically there was one can of microbrew beer in every drawer on this. Like it was basically like a pallet case, right?
Yeah.
So I could do one of those, but it's a matter of making 24 drawers to fit into this pallet. But the problem with microbreweries is all their cans are different sizes too.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about doing the same thing with that. I've also seen one that has like whole bottles of wine in it too. But it's freaking huge.
Yeah, they've got the miniature wine bottles for sampling.
Yeah.
So that could be table service. Try, pick 6 or 7, and that's how it's served to the table. Because that now becomes a production product that you can make good money out of.
Yeah, exactly.
So just a side note, I don't know if you guys know about it or not, but there's a worldwide Christmas ornament challenge. It actually ends tomorrow. I just put a link in the chat. So if you guys want to participate or whatever, send a picture. You'll actually see on the website how to do it.
Well, it's a little late to tell us now, isn't it, Blair?
No, it actually it ends tomorrow night. So you can turn something quick or do whatever quick and send up a photo.
Turn.
Or
I'll turn it on my scroll saw.
It's anything. You could do a scroll saw. You can make a doll. You can whatever. It's for making whatever kind of a Christmas ornament. Doesn't matter.
Hey, John, I don't remember if I told you earlier when I was on your live, but a buddy of mine takes license plates and cuts them. I heard that. And then puts them back together as names. So, like I said, this isn't mine. And he just puts it on a piece of 3/4 red cedar, which found out mine's cracked.
Frick, Blair, I can't compete with any of those. Those are freaking awesome.
I went through those today, and I went, holy cow. And I submitted my pathetic little thing in there. And, I mean, some of those things that people are doing are just phenomenal.
I know. Like, those are amazing.
Yeah.
I can't compete with those. What the hell?
I put mine under novice. And so, and heaven knows you're not novice, but you could probably throw whatever in there.
Yeah, I am. I'm a novice turner.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is what's on my drying rack.
Oh, that's cool. Throw it in. Why not?
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I bevel my table and turn it so that when I put my heart back in, it sticks in like a picture frame. And I
Oh, that's cool.
decided that since I don't have a picture I can steal from the Facebook or whatever for the people I'm giving them to, I'm just going to leave the heart out, give them directions on how to put it back in, and have them cut their own pictures and put on there. So, but that's the mother silhouettes that I've been working on.
Oh yeah.
And I get a lot of comments. And I get a lot of comments on this little spot right here.
What type of saw do you have?
I've got a Delta scroll saw is what I'm working on.
I would probably do more scrolling if it wasn't so bloody hard to change the blade.
It depends on the saw.
Yeah, mine is on the lower end. I think mine's a Delta 2, but it's just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to shoot off, guys.
Go to sleep. Go to bed.
It's good catching up with you again, Mark.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in, Mark. Take it easy.
All right, bud. Anytime I can. See you all soon.
See you, Mark.
See you later.
See you, Mark.
Yes. Good day.
Yeah, my first scroll saw that I bought was a Craftsman, and I had the two Allen keys, and it had the swivel head on top and bottom for the clamps. And you talk about a pain in the rear. I ended up having to make a block, a wedge, to stick in the bottom clamp just to hold it still so I could shove the blade down into it, and then take the Allen key on the side and turn it, lock it in, and then remember to take that block out before I went and turned it on, because otherwise it would just jam it up.
Yeah, I've got a DeWalt I've had for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's gone through like 3 sets of grandkids to learn to use it.
And the funny thing with the Craftsman having the flat blades that I usually use, of course, anybody who's done scrolling knows that the stamp blades only have teeth on the right side of the blade. The other side's pretty much straight flat. And so you got to watch that when you're cutting a straight line, because it'll tend to wander to the right. Well, on my Craftsman, you actually had to sit to the right in order to push it straight. It took me a little bit to figure that out, but I still have it. It's down in my wife's cousin's house down in Louisiana, so I can go play when I go down for Mardi Gras.
What do you think of what do they call them? The round blades today, where you cut all the way around, the spiral blades?
Spiral blades?
The spiral blades. Yeah. I've toyed around with them. Matter of fact, that's what I'm using on the Angel Flight. They are definitely a learning thing.
It's the only blade I'll use.
Yeah, about 90% what I like now.
Yeah, I'm still only about 2%. I only use it about 2%. But if you go to my site, I think I've got it on there. If I don't, I will have it on there before tonight's over with. But I did a big Florida plaque with Master Sergeant chevrons up above the guy's name, and it says Crafton down the middle of it. And I did that with a spiral blade, all of it, because it was 14 by 20. And it turned out pretty good, but it was definitely a challenge.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, like I said, I'll look and see if I got it. If not, it will be on there tonight. It'd probably be under military stuff.
You get serviced at the VA hospital locally?
Yes.
You familiar with the Navy Watch Bell series?
Navy Watch Bell series. No, that one doesn't ring
Well,
a bell.
All right,
Well-
Steve, have a good night. Thanks for coming in.
the
See you, Steve.
yeah, be back. The onboard ship, when they have someone pass away, it's
Thanks for coming, Steve.
4 chimes. And it's just
Oh, okay.
understood that
All right.
the whole ship hears it, and because scuttlebutt, everyone knows what's going on. But instead of announcing something, especially if it's in a combat or training, it's just too distracting. So they would ring the 4 bells. I was at the VA hospital having my kidneys checked and the test 3 weeks ago here in Detroit. They do the same, but they only use the 4 chime and not the other series, other than the fire chime, but they also have a voiceover when they use those chimes. But it's still the same emergency chimes. But the 4 bell is when someone passes away upstairs in the upper floors. In the 7 hours that I was there for the tests, they had 9 people die of COVID in the hospital.
Yeah, it's in there. It's under military.
But if you ask,
Along with
they're told that you can't. If you ask, has anybody passed away, they won't tell you a thing. They can't, because that's classified. That's why in the COVID tests that we have today for people that passed away or have it, if you're in service in a military or government facility, that doesn't count in any of the head counts, because that's personal information. Goes back to World War I. So none of the military is listed at all. Now, if you go to a civilian hospital, you're counted, but if it's in the military, you're not counted.
Right.
But that was very upsetting when we kept hearing it over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually go to a CBOC here locally. Unless I need some special test, then I'll go down to Little Rock to the big hospital.
Well, I got the Detroit one 15-minute drive from me. The Ann Arbor one, which is bigger yet, then it's also part of a training facility like Detroit for interns, because it's University of Michigan Medical School, and we're in Detroit at Wayne State Medical, which is nice because your primaries all have PhDs and are teachers, so you can't get better than that.
Right.
At least all my primaries, are all specialists that teach the topics. But that was very disturbing. And I wondered what it was, and I was talking with I asked one of the other vets if he knew. And I said, "Is that a fire?" And he said, "No, he explained the bell system from the Navy."
Yeah. Yeah, that runs back flashbacks, I'm sure, for all vets that are there of one form or another. I know when I was in Al Assad Air Base in Iraq, we'd have we called the MASH intercom, where they would announce different events or something was going on base. And normally, if EOD was going to blow up ordnance, they'd announce it give you like a 15-minute warning. And I was just sitting outside of my workshop, just smoking around while I was in the smoke pit. And all of a sudden we heard a big explosion. We turned and looked in the middle of the airfield was ordnance going off, and nobody said anything. And we all looked at each other and said, I don't think that was our EOD. So we got our flak jackets and Kevlars and body armor and everything, and realized that was a mortar coming over the wire. And we had a few of those while I was there, and that's just it's nerve-wracking for anybody.
One thing that I learned, and it was, I won't say it was a secret, but people didn't know it when in the Nam era, was that when it come to Agent Orange spraying, I got sprayed on it once a month for the 2.5 years. But the interesting thing was, and it was another vet that was a Marine that was there, that was actually captured down helicopter. He was a POW, working in the rice paddy. Is that they'd spray on the first day of the month. And I asked why. And he said, "You're just a dumb flyboy," and walked away. And I had to think about it. And finally, when we had our rice and piece of meat for the afternoon meal, he said, "Have you figured it out yet, flyboy?" And my uniform was a missionary. I had a collar, a Catholic priest, but he knew the group that we were traveling with because he was there to protect another group like it. And that's how you knew you could make your calendar.
Wow.
Because all you do is count days between spraying, and within 3 sprays, you know what date it is. 2 sprays if you're lucky, but 3, you always nailed it down.
For you scrollers that are in there, I just put a link in the chat. When I first got my scroll saw, I was cutting some of these things out and just sticking them in the window, just with really thin pieces of wood, and you just put them together, and it actually looks pretty cool. And they're pretty easy. Some of them are pretty intense, but they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even taught people as young as 7 years old to scroll, 6, 7. And I've had parents sit and look at me and think I'm crazy, but what I'll do is I'll put the pattern in the middle of a big piece of wood. And I'd thread it into the blade through it, and they just had to be able to push the outsides in order to do their cutting.
Yeah, it's not going to cut you.
No.
And John,
I'll give you
I watched your live with that cling wrap stuff. That's freaking brilliant, man.
Press and seal.
Yeah.
No, nobody likes to use it though. Like I said, there's probably 3 or 4 people that have used it that can't believe it's so much easier to use than blue tape or clear tape or anything else.
Is it expensive?
No, it's like $2 for a roll of the wife just went out and bought me 3 more rolls. There's 70 square feet on a roll.
Oh geez.
So it lasts a while.
Yeah, that's cool. See, you didn't think we watched your channel, did you?
No.
Yeah. John, Billy's asking, did Shay go live?
No, Bailey. I told you. I told you I'd send you a link if she went live. She's still waiting for a camera to come in. It should be in tomorrow though. And I'm thinking that when she does go live, she'll probably be on Facebook first though, because I know when I wanted to go live on YouTube, I had to wait I had to authenticate my account, wait 24 hours, blah blah blah, everything else. You had to upload a couple videos first before you could do a live. So she might be going on Facebook first, though. But she'll try and do it through StreamYard. So she can have a couple of people in the background talking to her.
Yeah.
Well, this is one. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you go just through YouTube, they won't do it unless you have so many subscribers. You have to go through StreamYard.
Well, see, because I can't recall when I did my first live on YouTube, but I know I didn't even have 100 subscribers on mine. I think I only had 50 or so when I first did my live. But you had to have so much time on YouTube before you could actually do it.
Yeah, I remember doing that too. I've been on YouTube for a long time, but up until really now, I've been using StreamYard, and it works a lot better. I don't have the subscribers that a lot of these other turners do.
Like I was watching one the other day. I can't remember what they were using. They weren't using StreamYard though. I was gonna look it up. I never did. I can't remember.
There's another one that a lot of them are using, and I don't remember what it's called either. But like Wayne, the wood turner, and Mark.
There's OBS is what a lot of them are using.
That's it. OBS.
It's an independent program. It's an open source program. So, it's free to download. All the rest of it, Jizzy, but it's quite difficult to work out, to be honest. I'm pretty good with computers and building them and all the rest of the Jizzy that goes with it, but I couldn't figure this thing out. It just kept shitting me off too much.
Well, it's designed for broadcasters.
Yeah. Well, the other one that I've tried, John, is called Restream.
Restream. That's what it was.
Yeah. And then there's another one called Streamlabs.
See, I downloaded Streamlab. I downloaded OSB on recommendation from Dale and all those guys over there, and I started working with it. And I need I need a stream key and everything else, and it was just pain in the ass to try and figure it out. So I just gave up on it.
That's I don't like OBS, but a lot of people do. So yeah, and like
once you figured out all the kinks and all that kind of stuff, then you don't screw with it anymore. You're done.
Yeah. Well, the Restream, you can, with the free account on Restream, you can multi-stream. You can do YouTube and Facebook and all the rest of your social medias all together at once, and it combines all the chat. But with StreamYard, you have to pay for that feature.
Yeah,
and
but I paid for it. It's actually very affordable though with StreamYard.
Yeah, that's what I've got too. Yeah, I tried Restream for a little while, but this is better in the long run, I think.
Well,
Billy says he uses OBS.
Yeah, OBS I found is more for broadcasters. It's actually taught within the school systems as far as broadcasting goes or video production, because you can make it's so open source. You can have a whole special.
Hey Jay, you're live.
Really, Jay?
I mean, this is what the show is supposed to be for, but I mean,
no live turn allowed on your live turn and show.
Right.
Oh, I think he's just created a new platform where people can get together and just BS, but we all have stuff in common, and it's like being in a shop, and that's something we've missed. I know I've had friends that it's like, can I come over if I wear a mask? How about 2 masks and we can just sit 6 foot apart from the lathe? And I've got people that come over they let me know ahead of time, and they take over the shop. And because they need a big lathe, and I've got a monster lathe. I got a big Powermatic, 3-horse motor, 42-inch bed, 24-inch rise.
Sorry, you caught me drooling there. Hmm?
Yeah. I still don't know who gave it to me or loaned it to me, but I do know that the paperwork that I got with it said that number one, I had to insure it. Number two is it goes back to the owner when I die.
But you don't know who you got it from.
I am somewhat suspicious because they've kind of given it away because they've had all sorts of accessories and that they've dropped off. That, like a complete bowl coring rig that, we found this laying around. Do you think you can use it? And it just happens to fit the lathe. Well, I got an extra controller, and there was a smaller motor. I got this 3-horse. If you want to, I got the 2-horse that came with, but I got a 2-horse here. You want to just keep it in case your 3-horse burns out? So I kind of know. But it's a nice lathe. I've never been able to stall it. Never been able to install it. Nice, smooth. The only thing, it's so old, no tack, nothing like that. That hadn't been invented yet, but I've built in a tachometer for it. But that just gives me spindle speed, and I don't worry about that anymore. But people I'm teaching, well, how do you know it's 200? How do you know it's that? And I said, those are just numbers. If you're not safe with the speed you're going at, don't turn it up or turn it down. Numbers exactly. aren't good, because you can say, well, hey, I've watched them do it at 1,000, but you don't have that skill. Your wood's not as thick. It's mounted differently. There are too many variables. So I have it, but I've never installed it. I had it on temporarily to see if it worked, but a little Chinese kit for $10, and it worked beautifully. But I've taken it off because I think it's more dangerous.
Yeah.
I even help for vets. I found wood turning for post-traumatic stress. The lathe is probably the safest and the best way for people with PTSD, because you can put a log on and have some anger problems or emotional problems or memories you don't like, and it doesn't matter. So you have a 6-inch or 10-inch piece that you want to turn to an ice vase. You end up making a toothpick or a finial. But the problem that you have and the emotions that you have are on the floor. You're standing on it. It's the shavings. And I have used that whole concept since, I'd say 1980, when I started working with vets. We got a couple of lathes that I've been able to get in the local hospitals, pen lathes, the local VA hospitals, that they can roll around, but they have to kind of hide them because it doesn't have the appropriate dust system set up for it. But they got craft rooms, and they can put it in the craft room. And we've got clubs now here in Michigan and different clubs around the country getting lathes or restoring small lathes and donating them to VA homes, VA centers, just for that purpose. So it's not a ballpoint pen, it's a toothpick, but you're standing in your anger. It works.
That's a very good idea.
That's how I got over it. And I started learning when I was 12 years old on a big belt-driven lathe in my great-great-great-grandfather's shop.
L8 is
And then
one thing I haven't gotten onto yet.
Well, scroll saw work to get rid of tension works somewhat because now you're focusing on precision work. And if you really get upset and want to throw something, it takes a while to push that piece of wood into a blade. So you think about it twice
Yeah,
before you get
especially if it's
it.
a thick piece or a hard wood.
Yeah.
But you were saying you teach young kids and stuff like that on scroll saw. These are one of those test pattern sets that you can get off a line, and I've got this on just a scrap piece of probably half-inch plywood, and I just had it kicking around the shop for in case I need to fine tune myself on cutting a curve or a sharp point or something like that. And I never did anything with it. My daughter, who's just turned 8, she got on it, and I showed her how to do a straight line, and it's not 100% straight, but she did pretty darn good for her first time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And it
she even
gives,
did some of the 90-degree turns here. She didn't get into the center one yet, where you got the intersection, but she did do the corner ones.
oh, yeah.
And
I mean, it's great.
I told her,
Great
I took a
try.
video of it. Yeah, I took a video of it and sent it to my wife and showed her, and she gave me a kind of a sad face because of the fact the first time she got on it, she got all mad because she couldn't cut a straight line. So, but now she can do some of her projects on my saw. My wife can. My daughter, I haven't gone enough into it yet.
Well, I found that
But
vets that have uh, hand or limb problems can scroll and scroll well. You can even scroll with a hook, and
yeah,
that's really surprised a couple of doctors. You know, hey, you can't do that. Well, why not? So you put a piece, you put you drill a hole and enough for the hook to hit that, and now double amputee. So what does that mean? You got to have someone drill 2 holes so you can hold it down this way and move it.
yep.
And then I had one doc come by years ago and was looking at what I was doing to see if it was appropriate. I was teaching at the tech shop, and I said, "Well, let me show you something." And we taped everything up except the 2 fingers.
Right.
Duct tape. A piece of wood with 2 holes. Okay, turn this plaque out of it. And he said, "Well, I don't know how to use it. 2 fingers. Let's see you do it." He figured it out, and then he went home and he had this nice scrolled plaque that we already had laser cut the pattern on. He just had to cut it out. And after that, this is fantastic. And he went and had our 2 local vet centers buy scroll saws.
Well, that's good. Nothing worse than taking your passions away just because of age or disability or uh, your household space, lack of shop, whatever it is. Because you take that away from anybody, whether it be an old person in a nursing home or a vet that's disabled from PTSD or battle wounds that are physical or whatever, and man, they might as well just sign their life away and call it quits.
Yeah,
Morning, Wayne. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Wayne.
There you go, Val and Wayne.
But speaking of morning, I got to get up and go to 2nd grade tomorrow. That's what I feel like. I got to help my daughter get on her Zoom classes, and I feel like I'm in class because I got to learn how to teach her how they're teaching them now. It's crazy.
Well,
Where
cool.
2 plus 2 equals 5 and all this. So anyway,
I'll appreciate it
yeah,
anyway.
thanks for
Thank you.
having me,
Yeah,
and
come back.
thanks for the chats, and we'll talk with y'all later.
Jameson, nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Yes,
nice meeting you,
have
bud.
Take it easy.
a good day.
Yeah, you too, Dr. Bob.
There,
See ya,
James.
John. Hey, check out that video I sent you, and just let me know. I mean, it's sketchy at best, but it's what I got.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Hey, before you go there, did you look at the video that I sent you in Messenger?
Yes.
That's what Aussies do with big animals when they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
They wreck cars.
Well, yeah, if
All right.
before you disappear, look me up on Facebook. It's easy to find.
See you,
Because
Billy.
Are you
Have
under
a good
Dr.
night.
Bob or something else?
Well, it's Robert Elliott, very British, ELLIOTT PhD. No, Robert Elliott.
Robert
2,
Elliott?
the number
All right.
2.
The number 2? All right. Yeah, I got a Robert Elliott that's
all one word.
I got a Robert Elliott that's a veteran down here, RVFW. He was a Army medic, retired. So, all right, I'll check you out.
Yep.
Toodles.
Bye.
Later. Another drinking glass. Is that for a his and hers drinking?
Well, you got to try out all those different things and the different flavors of wood and all that, you know, because it
She'd have the big one and I'd have the small one, you know?
So she can hold it and you can't.
Nah, she drinks wine and I drink liqueurs and whiskies and stuff like that. So.
You gonna do a captured ring on that one, Jay?
Yeah, I thought, why not?
You should round the edges before you make it a ring.
Yeah, I was just making sure I could get the tool in there. I didn't think I'd have taken enough out on the bottom there.
I gotcha. Just kind of smooth it out to.
The first couple of captured rings I made, I was so jazzed that I'd made it. I cut it right off before I'd even finish it. It's like, fudge. How am I meant to clean this up then? You idiot.
Oh, Jade, Cindy Drozda, her Saturday class, asked me
Yep.
where you've been. She's got a party coming up about the middle of December that you might want to join in. It'll be a $10 party and got a bunch of giveaways and stuff.
That sounds all right. Sometimes it's been just a really bad time to get up. It goes. Sometimes it goes live like 4 or 3 hours after I go to bed, and then I got to get up and then try and get back to sleep afterwards. So sometimes it's just best if I just stay asleep.
Yeah, the last couple she's made because she's laid the times out, so it's kind of hit Australia for you guys, so it wasn't too bad.
If you have the link, would you be able to put it in my messenger, please?
As soon as she posts it, she just talked about it on Saturday.
No worries.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out of here too.
All right, John. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I'll catch your show tomorrow if I'm not on first. Well, yeah. Well, it's gonna depend on what time I get back from out of town tomorrow, anyway. So, all right,
Yes.
guys, take care. We'll see you later.
All right, drive safe.
Peace.
All right.
So Blair, how's Utah doing with the COVID?
We're a nightmare. We're one of those states that, you know, there's lots of families and family get-togethers and all of that kind of stuff. And believe it or not, it's the Hispanic communities that are getting hit the worst.
Huh.
We also have a lot of Polynesian culture that's here, and they're getting hit too.
I wonder if it's an immune problem, lower level, or is it just not practicing the safe distancing and masks?
I don't know. Don't know. Let's see, Wayne. Last two goblets I made with captured rings were a matching pair. Perfect matching except the size. Wow. That's cool, Wayne.
Yeah, nice. It's always good when that comes to when a plan comes together.
Yeah. I used to do them for weddings, but I haven't been asking several years. There's a lot of young turners out there, and they go to them because they're tied into the wedding industry now, which is fine. But that's a good business, a pair of goblets with rings. They were like $400 I'd charge, and people would think nothing of it.
Jeez.
And that wasn't the finished price. That would go to the wholesaler, the wedding consultant, and then they'd probably increase it by a third. But there were several where I had to make small ones with rings, and I just got tired of that. They had to have it for the whole head table. 20 of them. They were $50 a pop, but after a while you get tired of that.
Yeah.
And then people criticize me because I've turned almost 1,000 urns. But I like urns. You don't have to sand the inside because ashes don't care.
Yeah, matter of fact, my one of my stepsons, he had one of his best friends pass away, committed suicide, and I mean, it's just one of those things. But they had him cremated, and they passed his ashes around to his friends. And so my stepson saw that I've been turning these little things, and I've given 5 of these little guys away. so that they can do that. But yeah, I'm with you. I like turning urns.
Yeah, a long time ago I would worry about threading, but now PVC drain clean out caps is fine.
Yep.
They're a couple of bucks, and it's not a problem to cut them off to where you need them and put them on the belt sander so they're nice and flat, and then you simply embed them. And then the sealant, people ask, that's easy. Plumber's sealant for PVC.
Yep. Yeah, maybe I'll make a couple of those on my next live. I just started an Etsy channel, and I have 3 things up there now, and maybe I'll throw some of those and see if they sell.
Yeah, the idea that you can have a little bit of the urn, the ash to go with the different, both sides of family and kids, and that has become very popular in a lot of places. I started, and I can't think where my first urn was that I did, of doing unconventional ones. I had a request from someone in Oregon that came through the VFW, because that's the only way I make them, is they come through the VFW. That way I know it's certified, and they can't afford one. And the wife said, I'd like something, I'm not going to bury it, but when we're moving, because they had like 6 kids and only had 2 left in the house that were in college, and they were staying at home because it was cheaper. But the father had died, and the wife had requested that I make something that could be buried, but it had to look nice, because they wanted to wait until they moved, because he had requested that he be planted under his roses, because he loved raising roses. And I saw a picture of one of the bush, half of it was white and the other half red, because he'd done a splice.
Yeah.
And he had done this for a big garden in the yard. And the wife sent me a picture. And I thought, well, that's kind of neat, but it gave me an idea. So I made a wooden flower pot urn. And it came up, the first one I made, I thought of and I looked at, and perfect. And then I got florist foam and put in it, because I made the top so you could use artificial flowers. But in the bottom half, there was a lid with a hole. It wasn't even a lid, it was a piece of plywood that I had put in there with a bung hole and a bung. And I was going to try it, and I found that, put my bag of rice in there for body weight, and then I started putting flowers in it, artificial flowers, and it kept tipping it over. So I had to make the bottom thicker for extra weight, because they wanted to have flowers in it. So I ended up with a almost 12 and a half inch deep pot with the rim, but the rim had to be bigger, because I had to have thicker florist foam because of the flowers that were going in the top. But that made a newspaper, and I got clippings back from Portland, and it made a Good Morning Portland show talking about it. And I didn't know anything about it until about a year later, when the woman was sending me clips of it and some stuff that she had asked the station for, so they could send it to me. But I always stay anonymous so it gets passed through the VFW. So it takes about 3 to 5 weeks back and forth. But it was a flower pot.
Huh.
So when she moved, she could put the flowers, she'd dig a hole to put the flowers, plant him under it. And then, because it's a private garden and it was enough above sea level, so we didn't have to worry about having, a sealed vault for ashes. I don't know why some states still require it. Michigan did up to about 10 years ago. For a coffin, it has to be sealed because we're with the Great Lakes here, water table's high, and you've got to for public safety, public health. So I didn't have to seal it, didn't have to do anything, just sent her, and I got a picture back about a year and a half later, where was in the garden in the little house that they had bought that they used as a summer house. She'd moved into it, and it was his flowers planted on top. His
cool.
prize roses. That really made me feel good.
I bet. Would me.
But it was thinking out of the box.
Yeah, literally. Jay, that's looking really nice. That has some nice grain going through the top, and I like how the red is in the middle.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? Almost looks like two different types of wood.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that center section already has a shine to it.
Sorry, what
The
was that?
center section already has a shine to it, and the top part is getting there, but
Yeah. Don't tell anyone it's two pieces of wood, all right?
Yeah, Wayne. I used to do captured rings, but right now the problem is that being able to have a steady enough hand so I don't get pissed when they break. That's the problem when you become an old fart.
all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow.
Well, it's almost midnight. I probably ought to get some sleep because I've got to make sure the kids are up for school in the morning.
Thanks
They
for coming
start
in,
at 8
guys.
o'clock.
You guys have a good
Well,
night.
Ken, Carl,
Easy.
thank you for inviting us.
Enjoy your sleep.
What a great idea.
Mumble to myself that I know. What's your program? Thanks for coming in, Wayne. Have a good day. Done, boss. Have it on low.
Oh, wow.
Look.
Mhm. Oh, man, he wants to go out, Lena.
Uh, See inside. You see inside. She's under the tree. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a look every now and then. Sorry? Yeah. Eh? Okay. We should get some crooks now. How's this? What do we got? Oh, 35 today. 35C and 114. No. Yeah, 114 Fahrenheit.
Right, just cut this ring off now. Oh, let's hope it stays a ring. Yes, I think it would, Dark. How you going? Yeah, just trying to gobble it with some fancy stuff in the middle. It's fairly hard wood. Justin, how you going? Fair enough. Now I've got to fix that up again, don't I? Because I stuffed it up. I got one already, Justin. I got one up there already. I just I really only use it when Amber's when Robbo's teaching Amber. It's here. Just don't use it very often. Hence the reason why it's like wonky and over there. Yeah, already done that, Dark. I just didn't make this part here skinny enough for the ring to slide up and down it, so I had to get the tool back in there. And I was complete sanding. I'd done. I was just about ready to put some Yorkshire grit on, and then I realised that that wasn't going to be skinny enough. So I figured I better take it down. Probably what I do too, Dark. I'll get too carried away and go, woohoo! I'll chop the ring off. Now I need to clean it and sand it. How do I do that now that it's chopped off? You dickhead. Did it? Shake it out. Squash it with your toes, one of the two. Pardon? You didn't even see it was ready. You hear a knock on the window. Alright. Gee, thanks. Ah, okay. My dinner's ready apparently. Wife comes out and says, I told you dinner was ready. I was like, did you? It's news to me. Hey? I'll be in a minute there. Sorry? Oh no, if I mess it up, it'll mostly just explode and go everywhere. Like the last one did. Boom, boom. I feel like I'm doing this on either side. Ooh. I come pretty close to just exploding like I thought it was going to. And I undercut the underneath this bit here with that tool as well. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to knock this on the head. This is going to take too long now. All right, thanks for coming in, everyone. I'm going to go inside and eat my dinner. I'll start another one up tomorrow and just finish it off. There's really not much to do. It's just finish the sanding and a bit of short Yorkshire grit, really. It's nothing too flash to do on it. It'll take me like 20 minutes or something. Cheers, Doc. Take it easy. Thank you for coming in.